Welcome back to another video from Pauper Rated. This is Seth, and today we're going to play a little bit of Acid Trip. Just a single match queue. We're going to see how this goes. We're on the, looks like we are on the draw here. Pretty standard hand, looks pretty good. It has the escape routes, which is one of the better cards in the deck, and it has a flicker for the Mole Drifter, preordained for some filtering, and a core Skyfisher as a combo enabler / defensive creature. So we're going to go ahead and snap keep this one. Our opponent mulliganed to 6, and they're going to keep that. Alright, looks like they left their card on top as well. Alright, so we're playing against Burn. Generally speaking, not a great matchup, but we do have draws that help us out tremendously. So let's play Tranquil Cove. That essentially is going to blank this first Lava Runner attack. So they have 4 cards to beat us, roughly, because they have to be able to play their lands. If they don't play lands, then we're just going to win this game. Yep. Needle Drop is fine. And then post board it just gets a lot better because we have counter magic for most of their spells. We're going to take 2 more here and go to 15, but they only have 3 cards in hand. Wow, they're just getting super aggressive. Alright. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but okay. We'll see how it plays out. So we're just going to preordain. Bottom both of these. So I'm going to play Tranquil Cove, and then next turn we can play a Skyfisher, pick up a Tranquil Cove, replay it, and essentially gain 2 life. And it's also an effective blocker for their Lava Runner. They have to have the Bolt, otherwise it's a lot worse. Oh boy, that's not good. Might be in a little bit of trouble here. We're going to take 4 and go down to 8. They only have 1 card in their hand, so we're going to really need to hope that this Skyfisher holds. Alright, well that's even better than I could have hoped. So we're going to go ahead, play this Crossroads, gain 2 life. Both of these add white, play Skyfisher, so we have a blocker, pick up the Crossroads. We're at 10. I feel like we're in a pretty stable situation at this point. And then next turn we can play Crossroads, gain 2 more life. If they want to waste their last card on our Skyfisher, that is perfectly okay. So we're at 6. We effectively need to fade their draw step. Let's see what we got here. Deep Analysis. So let's play the Crossroads. The only card that beats us here is Fire Blast. That's also pretty good. They got really aggressive, and I don't like how they use their Fire Blast. I feel like they could have used it better and probably killed us a turn faster. But we are most likely not winning this game, unless something crazy happens. Alright. Cast a Preordain. Start, but not quite. So let's go to game 2. We get better after sideboard. What was our next card? So we got Hydroblast, Dispels, Cop Red. I'm going to cut the Crystallization. I'm going to cut the Escape Routes. It's not very good here. Stonehorn Dignitary, also not very good. Prismatic Strands is good. Lone Missionaries. Cut a Dreamstalker. Actually, we're going to cut 2 Dreamstalkers. Still need to cut 4 more cards. We're going to cut the Reality Acid, or a Reality Acid, a Ghostly Flicker. We'll cut the 8 Palace Sentinels. and a single Demonic Wall. I would like to play first. Here we go. Alright. This hand is reasonable. We have a Hydroblast. We can go land, Preordain, and then have a Hydroblast up next turn. So we will keep this. Yep. So I'm going to bottom the Mole Drifter and keep the Hydroblast on top, since it's the actual best card in the matchup for us. I do enjoy that we went down to 1 Reality Acid and still managed to draw it. That's probably not great for us, but we should be okay moving forward. Let's see what we draw here. Journey to Nowhere is a good card, so let's go ahead and play our Chancery, bounce our island. They're probably going to Rift Bolt, land, Needle Drop, and then play a Lava Runner of some variety of creature. And we can Journey next turn and have the island for the Hydroblast backup. Having the Prismatic Strands is also very good right here. We're just playing Thermo Alchemist. Alright, that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and just Journey this and leave up the island for Hydroblast. And then we have a Hydroblast. We have Hydroblast for the rest of the Thermo Alchemist. Molten Rain. Targeting their. Oh, they were targeting their own land. Well, that's weird. All right, whatever. Probably didn't need to do that, but it's okay. I think we can live. I'm going to bottom the step and top the fountain and then play it. Gain 2 life. Essentially, we're going to put ourselves back in the game a little bit. We need to stay as close to like the 15 mark as our safe haven in this matchup. Had to have 2 of them, didn't you? Alright. I'm really surprised they brought this card in. Like, it's not great in this matchup. Sure, it hits our Chanceries and our Radiant Fountains, but it's like it doesn't do anything. It's a 3-mana spell that doesn't win you the game. I'm actually just going to evoke Mole Drifter here. We have the Dispel. Just need to find a land, and that's fine. Perfect. So let's go ahead and play the Evolving Wilds, and then we have the Plains next turn. We have 6 mana. That leaves us able to Mole Drifter and Momentary Blink our Mole Drifter. Lava Runner's fine. Hindsight should just let that first Molten Rain resolve on their mountain. And then we'd have an extra Hydroblast in our hand, and they'd have 1 last land, and I'd feel a little bit better about everything where we're going right now. Chain Lightning is fine. So I have 2 cards in hand. We're going to play as though one of them is a Fire Blast. So we're effectively at 7-5. That was a really good draw for us. Play Mnemonic Wall, get back a Hydroblast. And then we'll see what they do this turn. We may Hydroblast their Lava Runner. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely going to block if they attack. But I could also see them, based on how they played round 1, using 2 mountains to Fire Blast the Mnemonic Wall. If that's the case, we will dispel the Fire Blast. Lava Runner's fine. That is one of the least scary cards right now. So I'm going to block and take 2, because 2 is not too scary to me right now. And then Hydroblast one of the Lava Runners on my turn. Lightning Bolt is fine. And then before damage. If they have the Pyroblast, it's just, yeah, like that. I'm perfectly fine with this happening. And then we have a Strands in our hand as well. Let's draw one of our Flicker guys. Core Sky Fisher off the top. One time. We're going to call it right now. Here it goes. Your Hellbent, I'm not sure what's taking them so long here. Huh. So I'm going to leave up Strands and Dispel here. I'm going to go to 7 here, and then Strands their Burn Spell or Dispel it. Uh-oh. Here comes the Flood. Not good. Yep. That was a really good draw. And then we effectively have to fade one turn, but we have a Dispel. And then the Cop Red was probably the best draw we could have had right there after having the Dreamstalker, since we already had the Momentary Blink. And we can basically just blank every draw step they have. Yeah, I'm surprised they're still playing this game. Okay, there we go. Saving us time. Thank you, opponent. Very nice of you. So we're going to keep that the exact same. Yeah, we'll stick with the same thing. So you may wonder why I'm keeping a Palace Sentinels in, even though they're the aggressive deck and it's kind of slow. In reality, we lower our curve so much in this matchup that we end up running out of cards in our hand to cast, and Palace Sentinels lets us draw into more action as the game goes on. Obviously, we have Muldrifter, Mnemonic Wall, Ghostly Flicker to kind of help us out with that issue, but in reality, we're still going to eventually run out of cards where Palace Sentinels is that continuous recursion and card advantage engine that we need against a deck like Burn. The reason I'm not playing 2 is just because I don't want to clutter that 4-drop slot, and Muldrifter is really like a 3-drop, not a 5-drop in this match. I'm going to mulligan this on the draw. I will keep this hand. This is reasonable. Core Skyfisher will keep on top. Good defensive creature. Yep. We're going to play a Tranquil Cove to start, so that way we have Preordain and Thraben Inspector on turn 1, or turn 2, depending on what they do. So just gain a life, go to 21. It's a third of a card from them. Burn being on the play in this matchup is actually relevant, as well as they run out of cards a little bit quicker when they're on the play. Giving them an extra card is not always great, but it does let us have that extra card to kind of find our life gain cards. Thermo Alchemist is fine. That's going to be a problem, though. Journey to Nowhere off the top would be really good right here. Tranquil Cove. So let's Preordain. I don't want to give them the Thraben Inspector to... I'm going to bottom both of these. And there's our Journey. So let's play Tranquil Cove, gain another life, and go up to 19. We could just be dead. That is a possibility, but then next turn we have Journey to Nowhere on their Thermo Alchemist. And we can gain 2 life with our Radiant Fountain. They have to have Molten Rain, and Molten Rain's not even great right here. If you have a Thermo Alchemist, I'd be much more inclined to think that they have multiple bolts or bolt effects in their hand. Hopefully they don't have a third land. Chain Lightning is fine. I'm going to yield through the turn. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. That was not as bad of a turn as it could have been. So now, this gets interesting. Yep. You gonna Fire Blast me, get aggressive with it? No? Alright. So let's play our Radiant Fountain, go up to 14. Journey. Get rid of the Thermo Alchemist, that's the big problem here. And then play Thraben Inspector. We're just going to block here. I'm not even going to try to get cute with anything. One mana, save us 2 life is fine, and it draws us a card in the long game. Oh wow, going old school with the Keldon Marauders. Alright, cool. That was a really good draw for us too. Probably messed up by playing the land. I want to pick up the Radiant Fountain though. And then we have a Hydroblast if they try to kill our Core Skyfisher. I'm going to take 3 from this. That puts us to 10. We're still not in a bad spot here. Obviously, Bolt, Fire Blast kills us. I'm going to Hydroblast this. I'm glad they wanted to waste a Bolt on my Skyfisher instead of trying to kill me. Sure, go to 7. I'm going to get another island here. Tapped out, you're going to Fire Blast. Put me to 3. Play the Radiant Fountain here. I'm going to crack the clue and see what we draw, because if we draw a Lone Missionary, I'm going to want to play it. No attacks here in case they have a removal spell, so I have 2 blockers. going to take 1 here, go to 12. We're in a good spot here, I think, and then next turn if we get to untap with the Lone Missionary, we can momentary blink it. Yep. Thermo Alchemist is a good one. I still think we're a long ways from being in a bad spot. So let's do this. Attack with Core Skyfisher. Eventually we have to get aggressive with our deck. It's kind of an unfortunate. I'm going to just pick up the Radiant Fountain here. And then I'm going to wait for them to try to kill the Lone Missionary and then momentary blink it. So far this has been a pretty good match. I'm fairly pleased with how it's going. So you got to add 4 life to this. See if they attack. No attacks. Gain some life. I'm not concerned about the Lava Runner at all, just the Thermo Alchemist. Really? Not quite sure what they're trying to do, or what they're waiting on. I'm going to hold up momentary blink again, and then next turn we can play our Mole Drifter. I'm not quite sure what they could have, unless they're saving up for one big flurry. They have missed a lot of land drops, which is a little concerning to me, like what their hand consists of if they ever do find like a 3rd and 4th land. So I'm going to attempt to momentary blink my Lone Missionary now and get a spell out of their hand. It resolved. Alright then. I'm going to cast this Mole Drifter. We need to start putting some pressure on them. We're going to bluff a Hydroblast here, and I'm going to attack with my Skyfisher. Well then, that's a card. 17 turn clock, here we go. Alright, go to our turn. We're just going to yield to this. Cycle this. So we have 6 lands. Could have attacked with the Lone Missionary there and then cast a Prismatic Strands, but I'd rather have more white creatures in play for when I want to cast it. So I can flash it back in the same turn. So let's Mnemonic Wall. Get back Hydroblast. And then on their end step, we can Hydroblast their Curse. Not sure why we're still playing this game. This, not quite. Gonna just hard cast a Rift Bolt. Now, knowing that I have the Hydroblast makes this really interesting. So I'm going to Hydroblast the Molten Rain, and then we can flash back our Momentary Blink on our wall and get our Hydroblast back. I'm not worried about one damage a turn, especially when we have so much life gain. And have Prismatic Strands. Just not a big deal. Just going to bounce the Radiant Fountain here. I think that's, you know, the play. We're just trying to gain as much life as we can while we keep the pressure in the air with our Mole Drifter and, of course, Sky Fisher. I'm going to Flashback Blink on Mnemonic Wall. I just want to get the Hydro Blast back. And just keep ourselves ahead. And now we have the mana for Prismatic Strands as well. Targeting, okay.